The movie starts from a World War scene. A lady is shown escaping her kids from the war. They were picking their father's picture. It is discovered their father was fighting with the soldiers in the war. The lady sends her kids to the other city on the train to take them out of the war zone. A lady picks them and takes them to her home as they reach there. She lives there with a professor. She says while making them understand the rule that they will not tease the professor. They will not touch any artifact of the house. She drops them to their rooms while telling them this. The next day, everyone was getting poor in the rooms. Meanwhile, their younger sister named Lucy convinces everyone to play hide and seek. They go to hide when their elder brother starts counting. Lucy comes into a room while searching for a place to hide. She finds a covered wardrobe there. She goes inside the wardrobe to hide. As she moves behind, she appears into a forest. There was heavy snow falling. Lucy moves forward while being happy. She notices a lamppost and goes near it. Meanwhile, she sees a creature. It was appearing as half goat and half human. Its name was Tumnus. Tumnus gets scared while seeing Lucy. Lucy comes near and tells it how did she come here. It understands she is a human. It tells Lucy she is in Narnia and takes her to its home for tea. It tells her there is winter in Narnia for the past 100 years. It plays music while talking. Fire starts dancing on it and Lucy sleeps while seeing it. She awakes and finds Tumnus sitting aside and weeping. When Lucy asks, it tells her White Witch's rules in Narnia. She has brought winter to the forest and her rule is if any humans will appear in Narnia, she or he should be taken to her. Because of it, I have to do all this. But it takes Lucy to the lamppost immediately as she calls it her friend. It asks her to go back to her house from there. Lucy gives it her handkerchief while leaving from there. Lucy returns home while leaving Narnia and appearing from the wardrobe. The time was stopped there and Lucy becomes astonished on it. She tells her siblings about Narnia and Tumnus. There was nothing when they check the wardrobe. They consider Lucy is lying. They don't believe her. Lucy thinks about it the whole day. Lucy again goes to the wardrobe when everyone sleeps at night. Her brother Edmund also comes behind her. He also moves into Narnia while hiding behind her. He was calling Lucy's name while going near the lamppost. Meanwhile, the White Witch arrives while sitting on a ride getting scared of her. Edmund tells her everything that he has 3 siblings. He also tells her about Tumnus. Hearing this, the White Witch makes him sit with her and gives him delight. She says she has no kids. That's why she wants to meet his other siblings. She asks him to bring them to Narnia to her castle. She tells him he can be the king as her son. After making him understand all this, she leaves. Lucy arrives and says to her brother Edmund before the White Witch discovers about his we should leave. Edmund gets scared after hearing Lucy. Lucy was happy when they return home from the wardrobe. She tells her other siblings Peter and Susan about this, that she was telling the truth and Edmund also went there. But Edmund lies and refuses Lucy while making fun of her. Lucy goes out of the room while weeping. Peter and Susan also move behind her. As Lucy comes out, she collapses with the professor. The professor gives Lucy to that lady and takes Peter and Susan into his office. They tell the professor the story of Narnia about Lucy. Hearing all this, the professor says maybe Lucy is telling the truth. He makes them understand not everything is logical. The next day, the siblings were playing cricket and Lucy was sitting near them. Edmund hits the ball. The ball breaks the window and also the artifact in the house. They get scared while hearing the lady's voice. They search for a place to hide. They move into the wardrobe while hiding from her. They move into Narnia from there. They discover Lucy was telling the truth. Peter apologizes to her and Lucy takes them to meet Tumnus. They notice Tumnus's house was ruined and there was a notice as well that Tumnus is arrested because of getting engaged with humans. Lucy's elder sister Susan asks them to leave after hearing this. But Lucy says Tumnus is arrested because of us, we should help it, but Edmund was against this. They move out and meet a beaver. It returns Lucy her handkerchief. The handkerchief that Lucy has left with Tumnus. It asks her to move with it to talk. because the trees in the forest give messages to the White Witch. Edmund and Susan didn't agree to move. As Peter and Lucy move, they also move behind them. Beaver takes them to its home and makes them meet with its wife. It tells them about the Lion King while having dinner. That it is actually the King of Narnia. It was waiting for them to arrive. So they will get the kingdom from the White Witch, because maybe it thinks the kids of Adam will sit on throne while coming to Narnia. The governess of White Witch will be finished. It tells them the Lion King has gathered the army for them. Peter and Susan get scared hearing this. They don't want to be a part of the war. That's why they leave while taking Edmund and Lucy. They discover Edmund has escaped from there when they were talking. Beaver understands that he is going to the White Witch. It takes the other siblings to stop him. In front of them, Edmund goes inside the palace of the White Witch. The White Witch wants to end them while calling them inside through Edmund. So her throne will not be taken. Beaver makes them understand only the Lion King can help them to save Edmund. Hearing this, they ask it to take them to the Lion King. Edmund sees the frozen creatures in the White Witch's palace. The Wolf of White Witch arrives when he was watching the creatures. It takes him to the White Witch. The White Witch becomes furious seeing Edmund alone. Edmund tells her about his other siblings when she becomes furious. They are with Beaver and also tells her the location of its house. The White Witch orders her companion to go to Beaver's house with Wolf. The wolf, while obeying the White Witch's order, goes to Beaver's house. As Beaver discovers the wolves are at its home, it comes out from another path while taking the three siblings. They meet a fox there. It was the companion of the Lion King. It hides them upside the trees and goes in front of wolves. It says they don't know about humans. The wolves bite it. After hearing this, it tells them the humans have gone to the north. As the wolves leave, Beaver and siblings spend a night there. When the White Witch discovers they didn't get siblings, she comes inside a cell. She has placed Tumnus and Edmund while chaining them. When she asks Edmund about his siblings, he says the Lion King's name. Before Edmund could say anything further, Tumnus stops him. He makes lame excuse of not knowing anything. The White Witch tells Tumnus that Edmund told its secret. Then she sends Tumnus outside with the guard. She asks to prepare her ride. Beaver tells the siblings the path from the frozen river to go to the Lion King. It takes them towards it. The White Witch comes out while taking Edmund with her. Edmund sees while coming outside the White Witch has made Tumnus frozen. The White Witch moves behind his siblings while making him sit with her on the ride. The scene shifts to the siblings. They were going to meet the Lion King. They notice a ride on the way. It was the ride of the White Witch. They hide and Beaver goes outside to check and then asks everyone to come out. They meet Father Christmas when they come out. It was the sign that the governess of White Witch is removing on siblings' arrival. Father Christmas gives them gifts while telling them all this. He gives Lucy a magical drink. It can heal all the injuries. He gives a dagger and gives Susan a bow and arrow. He also gives her a magical horn. As she will blow the horn, the people will come to her for help. He gives a sword and a shield to Peter. He tells them the winter is about to end. Then he leaves. Peter thinks if the winter is about to end, this river will also get melt. When he points towards the river, it was melting. They immediately try to cross it. Many wolves arrive there and chase them. Meanwhile, the ice melts and the siblings and Beaver flee the wolves. The wolves get stuck in the ice. As the siblings reach the forest, they notice the summer is appearing as the snow is melting. They move to the camp of the Lion King from here. As the White Witch comes to the river, the wolves bring the fox to her. They tell her it is the companion of the Lion King. The White Witch starts beating it when the fox didn't tell her anything. Meanwhile, Edmund tells White Witch everything coming in front. The Lion King is gathering the army and he also tells her its location. The White Witch becomes happy hearing this. She makes the fox frozen in front of Edmund. She hits Edmund and asks him to choose a side. She asks the wolves to collect the army to fight against the Lion King on another side. The siblings go to the Lion King's camp. The creatures hide while seeing them. The Lion King also appears there. It was a huge lion. It asks about Edmund while seeing three siblings here. The creatures become furious when Peter tells about Edmund. The siblings defend him and the Lion King promises Peter it will save Edmund. Lucy and Susan were playing on the river when they were talking. The wolf arrives with its companion to end them. Susan blows her horn and hearing this, Peter, Lion King, and the creature arrive for her help. The Lion King stops everyone that Peter has to learn something. Hearing this, Peter shows some courage. Peter ends the wolf when the wolf attacks him. The other wolf runs seeing all this. The Lion King asks its creatures to go behind it so they will discover about Edmund from its location and gives Peter the title of king. The creatures reach Edmund while following the wolf. They release and take Edmund with them. The witch discovers Edmund escaped and Edmund was brought to Lion King. The Lion King forgives his past's mistakes. Everyone becomes normal with Edmund while obeying the Lion King's orders. They have lunch. Peter says to his other siblings during lunch he will do the war alone. You have to return home. Hearing this, Edmund says I have seen the witch's power because of it. He doesn't want to leave them alone. They agree with him and start preparing for the war. Susan starts practicing her target with bow and arrow. Lucy learns to aim her dagger. Peter and Edmund learn the horse riding and fighting during their practice. Beaver arrives and tells about the meeting of the White Witch with the Lion King. They stand with the Lion King. The White Witch asks the Lion King to remember some laws. She asks Edmund back from it. The Lion King takes the witch to its tent for talking. After some time, it announces coming out of its tent Edmund will not go with the White Witch. They become happy and the White Witch leaves. Lucy notices the Lion King has returned to the tent being sad. Lucy sees the Lion King was going somewhere at night. She follows the Lion King with Susan. The Lion King discovers this and it moves forward while taking them with it. It takes them to a point and asks them to leave while saying bye to them. It moves forward. Susan and Lucy don't obey it. They hide behind. They see the Lion King has gone to the White Witch's army present near the stone table. The White Witch has placed it on the table while tying it. They discover from the White Witch's conversation Lion King has given its life in return for Edmund's life. The White Witch also wants to end the Lion King. She wants to end everyone through war. She ends the Lion King in front of everyone while stabbing. Then she takes her army for getting ready for war. Lucy and Susan come to the Lion King. Lucy makes it drink its magic water. It was given by Father Christmas. Susan says it is too late and seeing this, they hug Lion King and start weeping. Some mouses arrive and opening the Lion King. Susan asks Lucy they have to go back to tell this to everyone. But Lucy doesn't want to go back while leaving Lion King alone. She asks the trees to convey this message. The leaves and flowers of the trees move to the camp. While flying they give Edmund and Peter this message while turning into humans. As they get the message, Edmund convinces Peter he should lead the army to go to the war because they have none after the Lion King. Agreeing with Edmund, Peter reaches the battleground along with the army. There was the White Witch's huge army. As her army moves forward on her order, Peter sends the burst creatures. They end the White Witch's army while throwing rocks. Peter moves forward with other creatures. Susan and Lucy were sleeping with Lion King, but they move from there, but they notice the table was cracked. The Lion King has revived. It tells Lucy when she asks according to laws if any innocent victim will be ended, the table will be cracked and the dead victim revives. Susan tells the Lion King that the war has started. It takes them to the palace while making them sit on it. It makes the frozen creatures fine while reaching there. It moves to the war while taking them. Peter asks his army to go back while seeing them defeating. A companion of the White Witch makes Peter fall down from the horse when they were leaving. On it, two creatures come to save Peter. They go to end the White Witch. The White Witch ends these creatures. The war again starts here. Peter asks Edmund to return home after searching for his sisters. Beaver was taking Edmund with it. Edmund sees the White Witch was moving to Peter. He returns immediately and breaks the freezing instrument of the White Witch. The White Witch attacks Edmund. Meanwhile, Peter comes to fight with the White Witch while running. There was a heavy fight between the White Witch and Peter. During this, the Lion King also arrives with its army. The White Witch again starts the fight with Peter. Peter falls there being injured, and the White Witch was about to end Peter. Meanwhile, the Lion King attacks and ends her later. Lucy makes Edmund drinks the magical water. He heals with this magical drink. Lucy gives this magical drink to others. The Lion King recovers the frozen creatures. After the war, the Lion King makes all the siblings the kings and queens of the palace. It leaves. Lucy weeps, but Tumnus consoles her that it will be back soon. After 15 years, the siblings are shown ruling Narnia. They go hunting into the forest and they notice the lamppost on it. Lucy remembers the room and she moves in search of the wardrobe. They come behind her in the wardrobe and they again come to that room. They were in the time when they went into the wardrobe. It means they again become young kids. They again meet the professor. He believes in them, and the movie ends here.